This video is a quick demonstration on how we wet mold a knife to a sheath. And by wet mold, basically we mean to stretch the sheath leather in some way while it's wet so that when it dries, there's a nice pocket for the knife. And in this case, this sheath has some decorative stamping on the front. So we really don't want to do a lot of molding on the front. There may be some plain sheaths that you are okay with that, but in this case we want to mold the back only. So here's the back side, and I already sprayed it with water, but I'll show you quickly how I did that. And I use this rounded stick. You can be creative on what you use to open up the leather, but I inserted that in here. And while there's a little bit of stretch going on in the leather, that's a good time to spray the sheath. So I used a water bottle, I sprayed it. And then on the inside, I sprayed a little bit additional water, really trying to focus that in on the bottom panel only, the back panel. And don't spray too much, but just trying to get that back panel wet. You can spray a little bit more on the outside again, but now we have it wet and really not affecting the front side, so there should be very little stretch going on the front. Most of that will happen here on the back. So here's our knife. When you insert this, you want to be careful following the stitch lines, that you're not pushing into the thread at any point. So you can, as you push that in, you can feel down here, make sure you don't go too far. I think I want to come back out just a little bit. So right there, that's a good spot for this one. So I'm going to start on the back with my fingers. And just kind of shape that so you can see the outline of the handle. And if that's all you have, if you have no tools to do anything more than that, you could stop at that and let it dry. But if you can get a more crisp outline, it will provide a better pocket for your knife. So I like to use this. This is a rounded piece of wood, very good for pressing. It's not going to harm the leather, it's not going to cut it. But if you don't have something like this, a rounded deer antler, this is a rounded piece of glass. You could also do a little of that with this, a little harder to be exact. Maybe even a nice rounded knife handle. You could see that could work also. Again, a rounded piece of wood would be okay also, but I'm going to go back to this tool. That's the one I like. Try not to shake the camera too much. But leather stretches easier while it's wet, and so that's why we do it wet. I'm just going to go kind of the whole way around the knife using some elbow grease here, really kind of pushing pretty hard. You can see we're getting a nice outline there around the handle. And that is pretty much it. So now when we're gonna go put this in front of a fan, let it dry like this, but now there will be a nice pocket for the knife, and when you push that in, you won't accidentally go too far and end up pushing your blade out through the stitching somewhere. So it hits that pocket and it stops, crisply. Quickly, whatever. That's a bad choice of words, I guess. But that's how we do it. And you can, of course, do that with any knife as long as it fits in there. And if you have a knife that you would like a custom sheath made for, please feel free to contact us and we can figure out what you like and how to fit your knife best. Let me know if you have any questions.